Hey everyone, my name is Alicia Quinn, and I'm going to show you how to do a Peekaboo Cup. The technique that you see here on my cup is a foil technique, and I used micas from Magic Moon Micas, and the colors that I used come from a color challenge. So if you go to her website, Magic Moon Micas, and her name is Michelle, and you go under Pixie Kits, you will see a color challenge, a monthly color challenge. And in that monthly color challenge, you get a cup, you get a few mica colors, and either a glitter, water slide. You get some goodies in there. And then you go to the Magic Moon Micas Facebook page and you can join the cup color challenge. You don't necessarily have to use a cup. You can use molds, jewelry, anything. Anything that you can do with the colors, you can enter into the competition. So the colors that I used here are Blue October, which is the blue, Biatch Please, which is the gold, Maleficent, which is the purple lavenderish color, and that one is actually a mica glitter, super, super shimmery. And then Under the Silver Moon, which is the white pearlescent color that you see there. So after you get your design, you epoxy it one time, make sure that it's smooth and it's sanded. Get your decal and go ahead and put your decal on the cup. Now you have to use removable vinyl. If you don't use removable vinyl or something removable, then you are going to have a problem and it will not turn out like a Peekaboo Cup. So whatever you put on there, make sure that you are able to take it off. Get your design, find out where you want to put it. Those colors were just amazing. I wasn't really prepared on where I wanted to put this yet, so it was kind of spur of the moment doing this video. Now, when you place your decal down, make sure that you put the center down first. That way you can smooth out from the center towards the outside. And that keeps you from getting bubbles under your vinyl. So kind of bend it in half just a little bit and then put the middle down and then start rubbing from the inside out. If you don't do that, you will get bubbles, and sometimes the bubbles will be on the outside of your vinyl or towards the inside, and when you go to spray paint it, the spray paint will get under your decal and then it won't come out as crisp as it should have been. Also, the removable vinyl sticks to epoxy really, really well. So when you initially put it down, don't push too hard because you have to remember you're going to be taking this decal off. Just remember to lightly rub it on there so you can take it off easily. Here's a quick tip. If you want to put a second decal on your cup and you want it directly on the opposite side of the first decal, you can run a piece of tape on the top of your cup. And if you run that piece of tape directly in the center, you should be able to find out where the opposite side of the cup is, if that makes sense. But here I just put my finger on it and then eyeballed it and put it directly on the opposite side. So you can do it that way too, for purposes of time, really. And I did this sideways, so it's going to be a little bit off. It wasn't too off, but, and that's the cool thing about having the lined transfer tape. But this is just basically to show you and give you an idea of how to do the peekaboo design. So you'll have to excuse the offset words. So here I added a piece of, or a couple of pieces of painter's tape just for design purposes. Just always remember wherever you put your tape, that is where your base is going to shine through. And sometimes I get mixed up and I always think it's the opposite because that's what I'm used to doing. So just remember wherever you cover up, that's what you're going to see. So make sure everything's covered and then you're ready to spray paint. Before you spray paint, make sure to mark your vinyl. You can either take little dots of glue and put it on your pieces of vinyl. Sometimes I take little tiny pieces of tape and I put them on the vinyl, and that just makes it look more raised so you know where to pull it off. The other thing is if you use dark spray paint, you can see your vinyl better underneath it. White spray paint and light spray paint, it's really, really hard to see your vinyl, so be careful. And really good lighting. So here, all I did was take some Mod Podge glue. I mixed in a chameleon mica, which are really, really cool, and it's called What the Hex. And then I thinned that glue and mica out with a little bit of water. And because Mod Podge is water-based, that's okay to do that because Mod Podge is really, really thick. And the thicker the mixture was, the easier it was to see the brush strokes. So that's also why I thinned it out. So this step you have to go pretty quickly on because you don't want it to dry, especially with glue. If it dries, then you're going to have a really hard time pulling that vinyl up. So I just always try to be more safe than sorry. I have also actually seen people put resin down over their vinyl, and I don't know how they do that, but I didn't want to mess with that. I would rather just pull it up while it's still wet or put glue over it. Now, if you don't want to do the glue, you don't have to. You can actually just spray paint it and then you're ready to pull up your vinyl. Or if you want to add glitter, you can add glitter and that will be all around the places that your vinyl is at. So keep that in mind too. Anything you want to add, you should probably add it now unless you want to do a whole nother layer of epoxy. Okay, so now you can start pulling up your vinyl. When you start pulling up your vinyl, you want to make sure to take your little pokey tool and don't scrape up the edge at like a diagonal because sometimes you will miss and it will scratch your cup. So what I like to do is I'll take my tool and I'll push down into the vinyl because with the design I have on the base, it doesn't really matter if you dent the epoxy, you won't be able to see it because the base is so busy. So take your tool, push down into the vinyl, and then try and lift it up. And then when you pull off your vinyl or your tape, you almost want to pull it at a completely horizontal angle. I noticed that when I pull vinyl and tape straight up, it will pull my spray paint off with it. And that really doesn't turn out very good. So here I'm just trying to push into the vinyl and then pulling it up. All right, so after you get all your vinyl pulled up, If you've been touching it with your hands, I don't know if you're like me, but I like to touch everything, even if I have gloves on. So to reduce having oils on your cup, I just lightly wipe it with rubbing alcohol to get all the oils off or anything else that you have on your hands. Because if you do get oils on your cup, that will cause fish eyes and all these other problems that people have with epoxy. Any oil that I get on my cups and then I try to epoxy over it, you will have problems with your epoxy coming out right. So you get everything off, all the oils, then you can go ahead and epoxy it. I added a little bit more embellishments to this. I'm putting some gold lining onto the cup. But there you have it. It ended up coming out really cool. Please subscribe to our channel and join our Facebook group, Magic Moon Micas, and we hope to see you soon. Thanks so much.